Today's a good day for a run. It's 31 degrees Fahrenheit, and the snow has melted some, and the roads appear to be pretty clear. Tomorrow is a great day for a run. It's going to be 46 and sunny, or partially sunny. That's as sunny as it gets here in Rochester, New York in the winter. So, today I'm in a shoe that I've been very much looking forward to running in again since the first time I ran in it, and that is the Adios Pro 4 from Adidas. And I haven't put this on the roads yet. It was a treadmill run, my first run in it, and that's why I'm so excited to get out today and put it through its paces on the roads. I've been kind of consciously, subconsciously avoiding going out on the roads in this because it's all white and I don't want to completely destroy it, but that kind of runs counter to my general ethos of it's a running shoe and it's going to get destroyed because I'm going to run in it. So I've been running against my own view set in some ways, but it's so pretty and nice and white and I didn't want to destroy it. And also it's slippery on the road, so that was my secondary excuse. But today, whether or not I completely ruin the beautiful white upper, I will run in it, and I will run hard in it if I can, because one of my quadriceps, one of the seps, is still a little hurt. I'm freezing. It's very cold even for 31, so let's go get it.
Adios to my roads when I hop up on the track. Uptempo to my popo, you could say it to my back. Goodbye to my guys who are bringing up the rear. Au revoir, going far, and I might just sit still. Adios, 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 adios.
Okay, I have a few initial thoughts. Most positive, one negative. We're going to start with the negative because everything else has been great. But I already slipped and fell on a turn. And what's even crazier is I was thinking on that turn, man, you really need to slow down a lot to turn in these. And as I was slowing down, I slipped. And that's not a good sign. I almost broke the camera. Surprising because normally these CPU outsoles do really well in the wet, but I think what it was is all of the mud is getting washed into all of the surfaces right now, and this is some of the most slick conditions I could be running. I'm feeling it right now under my feet, and I might need to actually get off the sidewalk. Yeah, it's that slippery. Okay, I guess this is not a runnable surface in these today. I mean, I do think that I'm testing the grip on these in the slickest possible condition, but it's not a good sign. I would already not wear these for a race, just on that alone. But the rest of it has been phenomenal so far. I've had the biggest smile on my face, and yeah, the first couple of miles were stop-start because of filming and falling down, but I was holding sub 7 really reliably until I started talking to camera with like pretty minimal effort, and that's always a good sign in a shoe and in your fitness. But with me being sick, that's been really hard for me to hit lately. Okay, I'm gonna step off the pace for just a sec while I'm in this parking lot to give you a more in-depth look at what I'm experiencing underfoot. Adios Pro 4, very forefoot dominant. Really likes it when you land on your forefoot, and it's good news for me because it's where I generally land, and this guides you towards that somehow. And I've been really accelerating compared to my recent training. This is one of the faster runs that I've been on. The observation I had made, I'm all out of breath, about the rods versus plates seems to also hold true in the Adios Pro 4. So the observation is that I think rods do a better job at defraying some of the energy, the like reverberative energy that you get in plated shoes, making it for a more comfortable ride. I don't think it really, I came to a dead end. I don't think it really affects stability. If anything, maybe it benefits stability, but it makes the shoe less rigid, I think. At least underfoot, it feels less rigid and less like leg shattering. Not that all plated shoes feel leg shattering, but they're harsher to run in than unplated shoes for the most part. And I think that the energy rods are a middle ground between the two. For all of you who are still wondering, yes, the Adios Pro 4 is a super shoe. So the pace was 17 minute miles, super shoe, bang. No, it's 7:19 for a 10-mile run, with an injury, with big rug burn, and my actual left hip is feeling even worse than that part of the leg does. So that was a honest mistake. I can't really totally blame the shoes for it, because as I was coming back to the same place that I fell down, it was a total mudslide. Like, it was literal mudslide conditions, and I was just enjoying the Adios Pro 4 so much that I took the turn way too fast. Some things that I've heard comments on about the Adios Pro 4 in the negative direction is that weird suction cup feeling. I did not get that until I just started pacing in front of the house. I literally just now, as I was talking, started to experience what people are talking about with a suction cup feeling on the heel, because it has those two separated foam pieces on the heel of the shoe, and that can, apparently, it can create like a suction effect and feel weird, like pop, 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 pop. I can't do the sound effect, like puck, 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 puck. Maybe I'll find a sound effect for you. Yeah, but I didn't notice that on the run. And I think that's to do with the fact that, like, I'm really predominantly a forefoot striker, which this shoe seems to enjoy. I really love it. I really love it. That was a really good run. We're going to talk about this more in a moment. The one goal that we failed on this run was not getting the shoe dirty. It's a shame, but it's winter in Rochester, New York, and I did an okay job. So, my hands are freezing. It's time to go back to the studio.
Get up, no, get moving. Molly in a rhythm, I the notion. While these money get to stay in motion. Run, now you're putting wicked past me. On the urge, you're on top. Happy stop, let's go.
Here we are back in the studio with the Adios Pro 4 from Adidas, and yeah, I might have fallen down during this run, but that was a total blast. I haven't had a run that enjoyable in quite some time. I mean, I had some fast miles during the 5K last weekend, or the quarter of a half marathon, but those weren't really fun. That was just 3.35 miles of suffering. And today it was a nice 10-mile up-tempo effort in the Adios Pro 4. And so let me tell you about the shoe again for all of those who, like me, have been living under a rock. This is a carbon-plated, carbon-rotted racing shoe, 39 in the heel, 33 in the forefoot, from a company known as Adidas. And it has a really soft TPEE foam with a CPU outsole, a nice fabric-y feeling upper, and some terrible laces. That's Adidas in a nutshell. That's a lot of their Eddie Zero, Adios performance training racing shoe like statistics right now. That's what they're all about. And yeah, about the run today in this shoe. This shoe is bouncy and it keeps getting faster the more pace you put into it. Now, I didn't try any all out sprinting. It was too slick today. I think I scared myself by falling down and didn't want to push the pace from that point on. I still kept the pace hot. Like, average of 7:19 is for sure for me up tempo for my daily paces. That's approaching marathon pace, and a lot of the average that averages out to is me setting up camera shots and talking to camera. And so a lot of the miles and segments in there were actually something closer to a 6:30 pace, especially early on in the run. And I could tell you at those paces, it felt incredible. That's the sort of the sweet spot was around 7 or under is what I was noticing with this. I am genuinely surprised about the grip. It was something that I didn't expect to have an issue with going into the run. And for a lot of the simply wet areas of road that I was running on where there wasn't like a mudslide, this did actually grip extremely well. So it's hard to say, you know, how any of the other shoes that I own would have handled that particular slick patch. Because coming back on the run, like I intersected the same area that I fell down. And it's this bridge that turns from, it's like a sharp turn from concrete to different concrete. But that's not really relevant. It's that the entire bridge worth of slush had washed down to the bottom of the bridge, causing like a compilation or like a sediment settling of mud, like still slick mud. And so it was actually some of the worst conditions that you could run in. So it's hard to judge the outsole based on that. I know on the run I said rather harshly that I wouldn't race in this as a result of that. On a dry day, of course I would race in this. I would consider racing pretty much the entire range of distances, perhaps not the 5K because I do have the streak fly, but my streak fly is getting up there in miles. I would consider this. This is not, outside of the realm of 5K performance, right? That's pretty wild for me to say because typically I don't really say that about marathon specific shoes or full stack shoes because I do like to be more planted. I think that, yes, it is a little bit squidgy in the corners, but not alarmingly more so than most other race shoes. I think that the Metaspeed Edge Tokyo has a little bit more cornering capability than the Adios Pro 4. But, you know, I need to put those head to head to get a real, like, definitive answer on that particular question. The laces, as much as they're terrible laces, don't seem to matter in this model. It doesn't seem to affect anything. They stay tied, or they did this time. And same thing with the Takumi-san 11. They're very similar in their upper construction, and it wasn't an issue. So it fits really well. I said that in my initial video on this. One thing that I keep noticing about the Adios Pro 4 and about the Takumi-san and the Adios Pro 3 versus other carbon plated racing shoes is something that I mentioned out on the run and in several other videos, that I feel like with the rods, there's less of that vibrational, like reverberative energy that you can sometimes experience in a plated shoe. So like a plated shoe, sometimes when I land on it, if I land a little off, I feel like literal vibrations in my foot and like up my leg, almost like the impact is being like, you know, bouncing off the plate and then into the top foam and then into my leg as an extension. That doesn't seem to happen as reliably with this as other plated shoes. So that's a nice little feature of Adidas. And I don't know if that's an intentional design thing. I don't know why that would be the case for rods versus plates. The only thing I could guess is like a surface area concern. So if the vibrational energy is spread across more surface area, it has more surface area to travel on, like the vibrational waves. And so maybe if you were to measure actual impact maybe plated shoes would be more impact protective because it's dispersing across the body of the plate a little more thoroughly. I don't actually know. So yeah, enough about rods and plates. What does it feel like underfoot? It feels, like I said earlier, it feels pretty substantially bouncy. The foam definitely has a TPEE characteristic to it. I don't know what the foam is in this. I can't remember the exact source, but there was an interview with somebody from Adidas, and they were being like very shy about what the actual material in the Adios Pro 4 was. It feels a bit like the TPEE in the Dynafish Xiaoyan, which I really enjoy. But this, if anything, has a bit more bounce than that and is perhaps even a bit softer than that. Uh, and yeah, it felt really explosive off the forefoot. I'm sure my calves are going to be cooked after running in this because they were already kind of not 100% going into today's run. But it was really enjoyable. My body is in rough shape right now, especially after falling down. I have a crick in my neck now, and but this is the price that I pay for bringing you running shoe review content, and I don't mind paying that price because it was a fun run today, honestly. Like, I love running in fast shoes, and love running fast in fast shoes, and that's exactly what I got the opportunity to do today. Other things of note, I know people talked about the suction cup effect on this heel here, where the ground sort of sucks up into the heel. I didn't have that the entirety of the run, and I was going to either remark on this now in this section of the video, or I was going to totally forget because I didn't experience it. And then when I got back to do the recap in that section, I mentioned that I did feel that suction cup sensation walking around. It's not much, but it's like when you place your palm onto a table really flush and then pull up on the table. It's not like a real suction cup, but it's like a flump. And I don't know, I guess it's a real thing with this. I was like, no, everybody that said that online is crazy. As I was running during the run, I was like, no, that can't be the case. What are people even talking about? And then as soon as I stopped running, I felt it on my walking stride. So weird, but if you're primarily a forefoot striker, you're probably not going to experience that. And if you're a heel striker, I don't exactly know how that mechanic would work at speed, but know that it is a thing that people have reported. I'm sure that a lot of you already know this because, again, I am late to the party on the Adios Pro 4, but like I said in my first video, it's better late than never. I'm going to get a lot of mileage out of this. I hope the foam holds up because I could see it degrading quite a bit quicker than the Adios Pro 3, but, time's going to tell. Thank you all very much for your attention, and as always, stay in motion.